Laura, I will turn to you first if you want to tackle that aspect of this first. Is it a mistake for Netflix not to be openly pursuing sports and live news right now?
Yeah, I think the key point is they need to innovate faster. They need to not be the last streaming service to add an advertising tier when everyone else has one. And similarly, they should be doing, even if it's sports adjacent documentaries like the big Michael Jordan, they can be doing content around live sports, even if they aren't directly bidding for live sports rights. And they're doing some stuff with F1. I don't know if you think of car racing as like sports, maybe you don't, but they should be doing things in the ancillary market and news also. Like you can get news free on your platform, and that's in as long as you rev share. So when you get advertising here, you should be able to sign up a bunch of the news services, just like Roku has today, which is an AVOD service.
Laura, do you want to just react to what an extraordinary, what an extraordinary 24 hours this has been for the company? And I mean, it is, I think, poetic justice that now you have finally upgraded them to market perform.
Yeah, we've been a sell on this one for a really long time, and it was really painful going through COVID because they had a couple, months where they were really strong. Look, I would say this. We were right for the right reasons, meaning they needed an ad-driven tier so they could compete with everyone else at a lower price point. They do need to figure out a way to bundle their service because their churn is going up. They need to figure out a way to bundle the way Disney and Peacock and Paramount all have bundles. And they really need to have a broader genre of sports because the consumer has the job that the consumer wants done is entertaining them in leisure hours. So when Russia invades Ukraine, you can't just have entertainment programming. You got to have news programming on that day. And similarly with live sports, where there's something fantastic going on in the sports world, you need to be able to have access to that, and their competitors do. So they need to solve some of these genre issues as well as the business model issues, as well as the bundling issues to lower churn. So we think they're on that path. I found yesterday very blamey of external factors and them reacting. And I think they need to put more of that blame on their decision-making being slow. So I'm hoping that this sort of slap in the face of these numbers they're reporting is a wake-up call for them to start looking side to side, because many streamers are doing much more innovative things. They need to be copying those other more innovative streamers.
Mark Douglas, the ad man, let me turn to you, because one of the things Laura pointed out was that even with this openness to advertising, the actual platform sounds like it could be at least a year away. How much more quickly should they be moving? And can you just respond generally to how this will change the landscape and the opportunities in streaming?
Yeah, so I think it will take a bit of time for them to introduce advertising into the platform. I mean, there are a lot of decisions to make. Is it ads at the beginning of the shows, during the shows? Is what content is again? So there are a lot of decisions to make. That's going to take a lot of time. But, fundamentally, consumers want to be entertained, and if Netflix brings in a price point that's on the level of a cup of coffee in New York City, there's just a huge round of new consumers I think are going to go on to Netflix, and I think that's not just in the U.S. where they have 70 and 80% market penetration. I think the opportunity worldwide for Netflix to continue to expand their user base is incredible, and I would be buying Netflix all day long today.